When you're trying to figure out what colleges you should apply to, being able to know what your priorities are in searching for a college can be incredibly helpful. So today we are going to talk about the prioritization mind map that I have created for the students in our Confused to College Ready beta launch group. And this is something that the people who are in that group have been able to learn more about, have had access to, and we actually have gone into a deep dive in there. And that is one of the portions of our course that families are able to join right now, and the information on joining is in that Confused to College Ready beta launch group if you are listening to this in real time. So this episode is coming out on August 31st, and we are super excited to share more about that. So please join us if you haven't already, and you're going to get a special discount. This is a never going to happen again kind of discount because the prices will be going up after this launch. So you can join us in the Confused to College Ready group and beta launch Facebook group, and we will be sharing more about that mind map in just a minute. So stay tuned. Thank you to those of you who have been listening to our podcast, to those of you who have been sharing it. I have to say, I was absolutely blown away. So I started this podcast in November of 2021, and we hit our this is actually our 41st episode, and we have almost 1,100 downloads at this point, which is absolutely amazing to me. And I'm so thankful for those of you who have shared and have been able to enjoy and listen to the podcast. It truly means the world to me, and I hope that it has been helpful. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Courtney. I'm the founder of Confused to College Ready, and I am absolutely loving the time that I am able to spend with families and students and being able to help them as they go through the college search and college admissions process. So let's go ahead and do a deep dive into this prioritization mind map. So what I want you and your student to think about, there are 7 different criteria to consider, 7 different areas of criteria for students to prioritize what they're looking for in a school. Once you have these things prioritized, it is going to make it tremendously easier to actually search for schools and dive in to actually finding out what schools are going to be a good fit and what you want to be on your students' college list. So, as we take a look at these college prioritization criteria, the first one is going to be your location. And that has, if you are in the Facebook group, then you will see that each of these 7 criteria have been broken down even further. And that is something that the families that are in that group are able to get. And then also the families that are joining the Confused to College Ready course and coaching program are also going to be able to get access to that. But we're going to go over those 7 criteria. So location, this is going to be things like the type of climate. This is going to be, looking at potential states, looking at different things such as the availability of majors, looking at potential travel costs, looking at urban versus suburban versus rural, and then looking at the state and potential tuition that students are going to be paying. So that's what you are looking at for number 1 is your location. Number 2 is going to be the size of the school. So this could be, how large the campus is, how many, miles it's covering. Is it something that students are going to have to walk a long way between classes? Or is it something where or maybe they even have to get on a bus? Some campuses are so big that students have to take a bus to get from one campus to another. Student body size, looking at housing, all of those different pieces, and some others that we talk about in our group are part of the size component. Then, so number 1 is location, number 2 is size, number 3 is support services, and this can include anything from career services, counseling, accessibility and inclusivity, any kind of tutoring centers, internships, religious centers, if that is something that is important to your family. So those are the pieces with support services. So we've got location, size, and support services. Number 4 is going to be affordability. And so that's looking at scholarships, loans, the cost of attendance, different kind of aid that you all might get as a family to know, is this something that we would be able to afford this particular school? So we have so far location, size, support services, and affordability. Number 5 is your major or course availability. So this is looking at, is your student and their potential major or things that they might be interested in for potential careers. Again, we always know that major can change, but these are majors available. Is it easy to change majors into something else that your student is interested in if they decide they want something else? What's the employment rate after graduation? Different internships, their interest in potential careers, how long they have to be in school, that's worth considering too. So we've got those prioritization criteria. Number 1 is location. Number 2 is size. Number 3 is support services. Number 4 is affordability. Number 5 is major or course availability. And number 6 is activities. So this might be anything from access to find things to do, access to shopping, if there are different accessibility and inclusivity components, athletics, whether that's playing or attending, fine arts, just the different activities that students can be involved in. And then finally, number 7 is the selectivity of the school. So what is the school looking at as far as GPA, class rank, test scores, admissions rate, all of those different pieces. So students need to have thought through which of these things are most important, so that as they are looking at the search criteria and trying to figure out where they want to go, they know what things are going to be the most important to them. So I'm going to go through these one more time. So we've got 7 of them. Number 1 is location. Number 2 is size. Number 3 is support services. Number 4 is affordability. Number 5 is your major or course availability. Number 6 is different activities. And number 7 is selectivity. So this is something where it is, like I said, it can make the search a whole lot easier to know exactly what you're looking for, what some of those must-have factors are, and what some of those absolutely not no ways might be. So this, like I said, this is something that we've talked about in that Confused to College Ready Facebook beta launch group. This is also something that we will cover in our courses, and each of these are going to have their own individual training module that goes along with it. And we will dive into a lot of the specifics of the, we are going to dive into the specifics and more details on what to consider with this as far as having conversations and what students and families can think about and talk through. Then what we'll do in the course is we're actually going to go into detail on how to take these criteria. Once you know what are the things that I have to have, what are the things that are deal breakers, how do you search for schools? Once you know what schools might be a fit, how do you prioritize that list? And how do you make some final decisions about where your student is going to apply? So the whole idea behind our course is that we want you to be able to research what your student is hoping for or what they are most interested in, understanding the decision that needs to be made and how that research impacts that, and then making a decision about next steps that your students are going to take. So I hope that this has been helpful. We are opening the doors to our course. They actually opened on August 30th, and I would absolutely love to have you join us. There are some pretty significant discounts right now. The percentage off of what the course is going to be in the future and the value of it I would love to have you join us. If you go into the Confused to College Ready Facebook group, you can learn more about these trainings that we have already done, as well as finding the information about the course that's going to be coming up. So I would love to see you there. If you go in Facebook, it's the Confused to College Ready Facebook group. If you are listening to this after September 6th or 7th, then the doors are closing for that particular group. But if you have questions or you want more information, please join us in the Confused to College Ready Facebook group. And if you are interested in joining the course, please feel free to send me a message or an email, admin@confused2ready, and we can talk more about those next steps. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you again for downloading, for sharing, and for your support of our podcast. It truly means the world. Take care.